Slew of comments on our Christopher Reeve video about how you will believe a man can fly, and just agreeing that he is the best Superman, which that segues beautifully into our finale of our Superman special, our continue off of the to be continued of last week. It is time for us to talk about the new Superman.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah.
You'd let me interview you as Superman.
Sure.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
Recently, you've come under a lot of fire for what some
it's
might.
A lot of fire,
it's a lot. Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny.
Some could
Yes.
say,
Yes,
and
it
by
is.
some I mean us, the best Superman movie of all time, the greatest Superman movie of all time.
I mean, I think that as it stands currently, it is.
It is
Without
the
getting
greatest.
my spoiler free
Yeah, we're gonna do
version.
we're gonna do spoiler free up first, and then we're gonna jump in because a lot of this movie hasn't been said. It hasn't really been given away in the trailers. Not really the plot of it. So
No.
we're gonna talk about the plot of it. We're gonna touch the sticky stuff, but we're gonna do a spoiler free version of it first, just so you know whether or not you should go watch it. Jordan, does it get the Jordan stamp of approval?
It does, which is a big deal because for years, me and DC did not see eye to eye.
We absolutely see eye to eye now.
Is the nice way of putting it. But no, absolutely. So spoiler free version. I will say
It's not perfect.
it's not
It's
perfect,
pretty well
but
perfect. It's a solid
my
9 out
thing-
of 10, 8 to 9 out of 10.
my thing with this movie is, and again, is
I have criticisms.
James Gunn. He Christopher Reeve ran so this Superman could
Yes,
fly.
absolutely. Why? I would no. You know what, Trent? I'm gonna put it in a more Superman way. Christopher Reeve Superman leapt tall buildings in a single bound. So this one.
So
could
this
fly.
one could fly. Yeah, perfect.
Because it absolutely
So
did. This
it
is
absolutely captures the spirit of those original
without
ones.
just doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely inspired
well,
by
I
Christopher
mean-
Reeve. Not just, right down to like the title sequence. They have a poster which is basically just the Christopher Reeve Superman.
Yeah.
It uses the John Williams score to impeccable effect.
And he looks like him.
He looks like Superman.
He looks
I
like
the costume.
Superman. And the big thing that
I
I
like the
think
costume.
that this one, and I think for me this is the thing that Man of Steel Superman was missing. Again, without touching spoiler stuff, is this Superman is really good about making it about hope.
Yes.
Superman is about
Absolutely.
hope and just
Superman-
believing that people can be better.
Blind,
And the Man of Steel
optimism.
version,
Blind
yeah, and
optimism. That's
the Man of Steel version never really did that for me.
no. Like,
Personally.
they want it to be like he's hope in the face of darkness, which he's not really.
Not enough.
No.
In those ones, not enough. In this one, yes, he is very much.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just. Okay. Do we do the sticky stuff? No, we'll leave the sticky stuff for the spoiler section, because there is sticky stuff in this. But the non-spoiler free version is the cast is incredible. The cast is utterly phenomenal. David Cornsweet as Superman is an absolute standout.
He's a delight.
The moment I knew and this isn't a spoiler because they've released this clip and I think it's in the trailer, but at least it's in one of the trailers. But when one of the first lines, I love that the movie opens with him being injured. Like, I love that. I understand why people won't love that, but I love that. But I love that his first line that he says when he's no longer injured is, "What the hey, dude?" Or he's the kind of guy who's like, "Darn it!" Like that. Golly gee gum.
Farm boy, Kansas boy. Yeah.
He's a farm boy from Kansas, and the Man of Steel. Yeah, I know we're gonna do a lot of comparing to Zack Snyder. It's inevitable, but he never was that. He was a city elite. He wasn't a Gumtree. Gee shucks. I'm from Kansas, kind of guy. Yeah. I forget it. Rachel Bras something. I don't know her actual name. I'm gonna fuck up the name from here on out. But the woman playing Lois Lane, phenomenal. The kid they got playing. I mean, I've always loved him. I've loved him for forever. I loved him in Santa Clarita Diet. But the kid they've got playing Jimmy Olsen,
He's
is
a
phenomenal.
good Jimmy Olsen.
He is
yeah.
Jimmy Olsen. He doesn't have the. That was the thing I forgot to mention last week with Injustice. Was you want how you know that's a bad Superman movie because it starts with Jimmy Olsen getting shot in the head unceremoniously. Like that's what happened to Jimmy Olsen. I don't know if you know that, but in the director's cut of Man of Steel, Jimmy Olsen gets unceremoniously shot in the head in the desert because that's what Zack Snyder thought of Jimmy Olsen, Superman's best friend. But he's phenomenal. The fact there's a number of great deep cuts. The fact that Lex Luthor's girlfriend is Eve Tessmacher is unbelievably funny. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor is also phenomenal.
He's so good.
It's all good. There's a big spoiler for the character who I won't. Metamorpho. The Justice Gang. I remember when we were talking about this at one point. You were like, "Oh, I hope they're not the Justice League," and they are, but they're not, and that's great.
Yeah. I kept waiting for there to be a moment where they were like, "Oh, we should be called the," and then finally go with the real name.
The Justice League. But no, they are. I don't think they're called the Justice Gang in the comics, but they are a version of the Justice League in the comics. And that's what's really funny. A lot of this is ripped right from this. So that's the. I think I've said this about the Super Spider-Man movie, the Sam Raimi one, the very first one, which is it's the purest interpretation of comic to put to screen like ever. That this is that for Superman. This is a comic book put to screen. Like if you want the purest, and I think. I would be so bold as to say this is probably one of the greatest superhero movies of all time, because
certainly one of the most faithful ones. I would say.
Well, because this is a no. I don't. Superman's in this a lot. He's in this a lot. Like he is in this as Superman a lot. Clark Kent is not really in this movie a whole time. There's that scene where he interviews. Where Lois Lane is interviewing him. That's kind of it. There's like one scene of him at the Daily Planet, and that's kind of it. It is otherwise.
Have we entered spoilers where we're talking about the actual movie?
Not yet. Okay. Maybe that is a bit of a spoiler, but it is a mostly Superman movie. To keep it sort of more light, less spoilery. It is, and this is what I want out of a Spider-Man movie. I want, you know what? Okay, yeah, we'll wrap up the non-spoiler version is really good. It's really good all around. It is. It leads people. It's funny because people were like, I think people have been irony poisoned. I mean, I know people have been irony poisoned, but I think people have also been kind of humor poisoned, where they have trouble differentiating between what is a joke versus what is like levity and like having a bit of levity as a person in a moment. So like, because I saw a review which accused this of like undercutting every emotional or serious moment with a joke, and I'm like, but it didn't. Not the way that like Guardians of the Galaxy does. It didn't. Like sincerity and being earnest is not undercutting an emotional moment. Sometimes it adds to an emotional moment, or sometimes like it makes a person seem more human when they're reacting to a thing that just happened. Like, and you have the power to like survive it. You're not really scared of it, so you joke about it, or sometimes if you're really scared, you make it like a joke to get through it.
Well, I mean, like I make jokes about things that are bad to get through them. That's human.
Right? That's human, exactly.
Like that's just how some people deal with grief.
Like I saw a lot of people talking about.
I'm not sure. I don't think I understand what the complaint is.
Yeah,
I'm exactly. A little confused.
Exactly. That's what I'm. Yeah, I was a reviewer I used to respect, where I was like, "What does that even? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean?" And then he said that, and then he didn't give any examples, and I was like,
quite legitimately, I'm confused by what you're trying to like. So they're saying that him reacting like a human is a bad thing. He should be an alien.
Well, yeah, because that's what people think Superman is. But
But
then
he's not.
it's wild.
He is
because
in
I don't
some
want,
versions.
I don't
but
want to get
like,
into like the political part of this, but like they don't want to acknowledge that he's an alien because then
yeah.
yeah. Okay, I'm just trying to think. Perry White is phenomenal. Like, yeah, this is very much it exists in a stasis of being like it's a comic book world. Suspend your disbelief. Like, yeah, there are some things that you're like, really, but
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, I don't need that. It's a comic book movie. I want it to be a comic book movie, and I don't get the people. This is where I get frustrated. Is I don't get the people who look at comic book characters and go like, I need to have a gritty, realistic version that's nothing like the comic book. I don't.
right?
What? No. I mean,
The ones
okay,
that
sure, we had those. They were the Man of Steel movies. I want my turn.
the complaint I don't get is when you accuse your comic book movie of being too comic booky. What does that even mean? It's a comic book movie. Obviously,
It's a comic
going
book
to be like a
movie.
comic book. Like I saw that criticism a lot with this. Oh, it's really comic booky, or it's too much like the comic book. But
Yeah,
that's what it should be. It's a comic book movie. It should be bright and colorful and like optimistic and like yeah. There's a time and a place for the dark.
Yeah, I
edgy
was just
shit,
gonna say.
Superman's not it.
Well, I mean, but that's not even sure. Okay, here's my thing is, and this is where I've started to get a little frustrating. Why, or frustrated, I should say. Why does it have to be one or the other? Why can't we have a movie that comes out like this and gets to be comic booky and fun and enjoyable for those that want that? And then there can also be room for there to be the Zack Snyder version of thing that comes out.
Yeah.
Like, why does it have to be one or the other? You can have both.
Yeah, on streaming where nobody will watch it.
I mean, or in theater, you could have both. Is my point. Like,
Far
and
away
I
from
think
my
this
regular
is
good
this is
Superman.
where I get frustrated. Is like because these companies and these corporations are so focused on doing the Marvel thing of everything has to be connected into one thing, so there can only be one version of a thing. It limits you because James Gunn is now being told to set up this universe where there's only one version of each character. That means that there can only be one version of each character, and that limits you from being able to have 1,000 Elseworld stories where you can have 1,000 different versions of Superman.
Investors don't want that. It's too confusing.
I know, but I'm just like that's where I get frustrated. Is I miss that I
It's too confusing for your stupid. For your
MCU
stupid,
the MCU kind of killed comic book movies because it forced all future comic book movies to feel like they were obligated to be part of a expanded universe.
Well, no, but they were all. I mean, they were all they were like that before.
No, they weren't. The
yeah.
Spider-Man movie, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies existed on its own. It was not a part of the X-Men movies or the Daredevil movies.
But he was the only. Hold on, he was the only Spider-Man. That's kind of the thing. Or Christopher Reeves. He did 4 Superman movies where he's the. So yeah, they committed to one version of the character in theaters because mainstream audiences be dumb. But no, there
but no,
always...
my point was that my point is that they didn't like set up that Batman also exists in Superman's movies. No, you could have that singular version and then go and make another singular version.
I mean, sure, that's kind of what they have done. But
yes.
I don't know. But that's not,
I miss those days.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
it allowed for you to have a movie where in one movie, or Superman can be more like the Man of Steel version, and then in the next version he's completely different.
But then they've literally never done that. They've always kept sure, like the Christopher Reeve version is different from the Henry Cavill version, but that's only because they're entirely different franchises. Like that, you wouldn't do a Henry Cavill one, and then the next movie you do a completely different one. You do another.
Why not?
Because
that's my point.
You do a sequel. You do a sequel.
That's what we should. Well, you can also do a sequel.
But no,
you can do a sequel, and then you can have another one where like you have Black Superman.
Oh no, that's funny. That's funny. I left this out as a story, but they were gonna make a Black Superman, and then
just as an example,
David Zaslav canceled it for being too woke.
See, that's where I get frustrated. Is my point. Like we shouldn't have to shackle ourselves to, okay, this was a great Superman movie, but we shouldn't have to shackle ourselves to he's the only person that can be
You're
Superman for the next 20
you're
years.
asking too much from Hollywood and too much from mainstream audiences. Sure, you could do it. The only place to do a different version of Superman that's different from everyone else is on DVD or on on streaming, where it's animated and nobody will watch it.
Yeah, that's so restrictive.
I mean, it isn't because you it's still.
I mean, it is.
To be
Where
fair,
now, like, I love this version of Superman, but yeah, like, you're then restricting it from the part of the audience that doesn't like that version of him instead of just
I don't
having
care about
both.
those ones though. They had their chance. They fucked it up. This is our time now. Like screw them. I don't. The Snyder fans had their chance to make a good Superman movie and they fucked it up. So like, nah, man. I don't really care much for what their opinions are. I want my Superman. I don't like this Superman. I want to see 10 more of him. 10 more movies. I want to see him. I want him to be like.
I mean, I'm mostly playing devil's advocate.
Like,
I also love this version and want more of this version, but I'm just saying there should be room for both.
I mean, with DC is a different conversation because DC is not afraid to do the wacky shit on DVD, right? So yeah, they do an Injustice, they'll do a Red Sun, they'll do a whatever. Marvel's
Yeah, but
the
that's not what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
they're
And
never
you know
gonna do
it.
it. Well, no, because they're never gonna do that theatrically because it's too much of a risk.
But it's not.
But it is to them. It
And
is.
at that point, it's not because you have both.
No,
There
but
there
then
is
you're
no risk.
spending-
You're playing both sides of the
You're
coins,
spending-
and one of them is going to be popular.
Right, but then you're spending a bunch of money on a dark Superman or another version of Superman that theoretically no one will watch. You're splitting your money and you just wind up making less money. No, they want one consistent version of Superman so they could be like that. I don't think they care whether or not the universe is connected. That's James Gunn's deal. But they want one identifiable version of the thing so they can slap it on a T-shirt. That's what they want. Super Spider-Man's easy because he always wears the same. Well, he theoretically always wears the same costume, and he's masked up. It doesn't matter. But they want one consistent brand identity. So like
Yeah, it's dumb. It's a dumb system.
But that DC in that regard is not restricted because, like I say, they can. Oh, that's what it was. Oh, damn it!
What?
I remembered the thing. That
What thing?
story. There was I was sitting here when I was prepping for the show. There was a trailer that I saw pop up that I was gonna send you, and then I didn't, and it wasn't in my list, and I wanted to talk about it, and I remember what it is now, and I'm really mad about it.
You could just use your new Zoom powers to see if you can play it.
Yeah, we might be screen sharing later, ladies and gentlemen, so we can watch a Spider-Man Noir trailer. Sorry that popped because it made me because I was like. You don't see Marvel doing that. You don't see Marvel doing like animated movies, which are like interesting. Like, say what you will about those animated movies. At least that's DC doing different things in a different medium. Marvel doesn't do that. You don't have Marvel animated movies that are like adaptions of famous comic book runs that everybody knows, which they should. They absolutely should. Anyway,
Oh, they absolutely should.
That was a weird divergence. Let's get into the spoiler shit for Superman, because yes, like I said. This is probably one of the greatest superhero movies of all time because we have to get to see the superhero do superhero stuff for most of the movie. Like, he is barely Clark Kent in this. He is Clark Kent a little bit. Like, a little bit. He is otherwise not
10%, I would say.
Yeah, and that's good. Like, this is what Spider-Man should do. He should be Peter Parker for exactly 1 or 2 scenes, and then that's it. Like, there was a bit where he was having that scene with Lois Lane where it was like a romantic scene and they were arguing that I was like, oh my god, is that what this movie's gonna be? And then it wasn't. It's there.
Well, the big part of why
It's
they're able to do that in this one is because very much in the beginning of the movie they have like the two to three sentences worth of text, which are like, "This is Superman's backstory. We all know it. You don't need to actually see it. We don't need to waste 20 minutes of screen time showing you the thing that you've seen dozens of times. It's exactly the same as it always is, which allows them to have more time of Superman actually being Superman."
Yeah, they're like, he's Superman already. He's been Superman a while. Don't ask any questions. You know this shit. Moving on. And then they move on. That all having been said. So the big spoiler of this is that the bad guy is basically Israel. Oopsies. Well, okay, no, that's not. I would say the bad guy's pretty much just Netanyahu. And it's one of those conflicts where
Well, no. Technically, in the scenario of this movie, the bad guy, if you're making comparisons to real life figures, the bad guy would be. See, I know you're gonna say Donald Trump.
Elon
I
Musk.
would say Vladimir Putin because Donald Trump is not nearly smart enough, and Vladimir Putin is the exact right amount of intelligence comparable.
I don't think he is. I think he's fake. No, anyway,
Mm.
well, okay, to be fair, the conflict in this movie, see, I'm sort of pseudo joking because I've seen a lot of people be like, this movie is pro Palestine, and you got to remember this movie was written like 2023, I think, and it was sort of before the Palestine. I mean, Palestine and Israel has always been a thing, but it was really before that October 7th, and it really hit that fever pitch. So I think it's the kind of conflict because initially I went, oh, this is obviously Ukraine, Russia, and then they showed the leader.
I don't think it's supposed to be directly comparable to anything. I think
Let me finish. Let me finish. Initially I was like, oh, this is obviously Russia. He's obviously Putin. But then they were like, yeah, they're our allies, and so I think, and that's the beauty of this conflict, and I feel like that's what you were about to say, is that it's readable to anything. And that's what makes it work. It can be Russia, Ukraine. It can be. I mean, it leans a little more Palestine, Israel, only because the people who are being oppressed are very definitely like brown and.
Because see, when I saw it,
but
I there's a number of different real world situations which I attribute it to. The ones you stated, of course, but I also was like, oh, it's North and South Korea.
I mean that too.
There's just any number of ones that you can, and that's what it is. It's not specifically calling out to any one specific.
Yeah.
It's supposed to evoke the feelings and emotions that any terrible situation like that would make you think of.
What's wild is this story, I believe, and I'm not going to say it with any sort of certainty or because I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's based on an actual, like, one of Superman's first comic book storylines.
Oh, I could believe that.
Same deal. He went in and he intervened without permission. I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same. And yeah, it's just one of those, like, kind of unfortunate. Like, I think I saw someone say it's the world that has become like a comic book. So the comic books reflect the real world too much now. And the one that made me laugh was the fact that the only difference between Lex Luthor and Donald Trump is the fact that Lex Luthor's super prison doesn't have alligators around it.
See, I was gonna say the only difference between Lex Luthor. I mean, that's one, but one of the only other differences between Donald Trump and Lex Luthor is Lex Luthor is smart enough to get away with it.
But he doesn't. He doesn't get away with
it. One could argue that Donald Trump is the real cartoon supervillain because he has the one superpower that no cartoon supervillain ever has, which is the ability to never get in trouble for any of the shit that he does.
I mean, yeah, true. But yeah, I mean, I love the scenes. My favorite scene in that movie is the one where he's fighting the kaiju, and because I saw a lot of people like, oh, Superman just gets beat up. Yeah, but usually when he's getting beat up, it's usually in the middle of like helping people, or like he could have saved himself.
Yeah, like he's pulling punches.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's going. I enjoy the bits where he's going out of his way to prevent damage. Or I mean, to me, one of the most iconic images from this movie is the one of him saving the little girl. I've said it since that first trailer, and he's cradling her neck, like he's protecting her neck. Oh, so good. There's so many great moments. Or when he saves,
I mean, you want an example of how he's
squirrel.
you want an example, yeah. You want an example of Superman being Superman? Yeah, it's literally the fight where they're fighting against the spoilers, where they're him and the Justice Powers.
We're in there.
Are fighting against the he's fighting against the monster or whatever, and the Justice Pals show up, and like, yeah, Superman could have defeated that monster, but he was trying to save it so they could study it and look into it and stuff and relocate it.
Yeah,
right?
he wanted to relocate it. Yeah, and yeah.
So it's like, yeah, he definitely could have flown it into the sun and like killed it.
Absolutely could.
But he was trying not to kill it.
Exactly.
And that's what makes Superman in this Superman.
That's Superman. Or yeah, there's so many shots of him specifically saving civilians. It's like, yeah,
Superman,
because he's Superman.
He could have, when he was fighting against spoiler alert, what ends up being the clone of himself, which is Bizarro him. He could have probably snapped the neck and been done with it,
He
but he
certainly
didn't.
could have. He certainly could have. But he didn't.
But he didn't.
But yeah, I
Because
love how he
that's
goes out of. I love how they
not what he
specifically
does.
when he defeats all of the shock troopers or whatever they were called. And yeah, and they go down. You specifically see them all hit the ground. It's like it's very clear. No, they're alive. He didn't.
Yeah.
Like this movie again. This movie is a response, and I can see how people will be like could not like this. Like I could see how
I can.
I can see
and
it.
and so then that ultimately is my main point with this movie is how much you like it ultimately depends on how much what version of Superman you most love. If you most love the new 52 version of Superman, then you want the Snyder version.
Nobody likes the new 52 version. Everyone
if
likes
you-
the Zack Snyder version of Spider-Man.
if
and
you-
Superman. No one cares about the new 52.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that is the new 52
Yeah, but
version.
most people don't know. that.
Regardless, anyways, it doesn't matter. But if you prefer more like the Christopher Reeves version, like the classic Superman, the actual Superman is Superman. If anything, I would say this is more like the cartoon, like the Justice
Yes.
Justice League Unlimited version
I've
specifically.
seen people say that, and it's the absolute truth. If you like that cartoon, you're gonna fucking love this movie.
You will have a great time with
Absolutely
this.
love, and it dials back Steve. See, it's so weird that people were like, oh, it's got that James Gunn. He has to undercut every serious moment with a joke, but because he doesn't. This is a really
I don't think it does.
This is a really subdued. I think all of the humor worked in the moment that it was working in. I didn't find that like Superman wasn't doing. I mean, yes, he has moments where but not that they weren't uncharacteristic of Superman. Certainly of other versions of Superman who, yeah, they make jokes. Like maybe it's because I spent all week watching Superman stuff, but Superman makes jokes. Like he makes jokes, he quips. That's a thing
Now,
he does.
I will be fair, and I do want to say, maybe I want to revisit this, and I would like to watch this again when I'm further away, and I haven't just watched a bunch of really bad Superman stuff.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's a fair point.
Because I don't want to seem like I'm overly kind to this because I hate the Zack Snyder version, which to be fair, I do. I hate that version of Superman. I won't
But this
lie
is just
about
good,
that.
This is just
So
a
that
good Superman
no, but
movie.
that's my point though. Is like yes, I do think this is a good version, but am I overcorrecting in the other direction
No.
and being too kind?
I don't
No,
think so.
me personally.
No, I don't think so.
Being too kind because of how much I hated the other version,
No.
and I can't say that for sure
I can.
right now. I'd like to revisit this later when I'm a little.
I will say
But
some of the special effects are not great. Like some of the Green Lantern effects in particular looked really quite kind of cheap.
Oh, I feel like the budget went to Superman for sure.
Yeah. I love his like Top Gun style like close up like that he did that with Adam Warlock in Guardians 3 so he could do it in this and it looks great. Lex Luthor's super prison. The scene where he shoots the guy in the head is genuinely upsetting.
Just overall,
pretty
it's a real solid movie.
It's a real solid movie. Nicholas Holt's Luthor is phenomenal.
I would say, yeah, if you like that, the more fun,
go watch
charming version of Superman, go support this.
Go watch this. Just generally, it's a good movie. It's fun. The kids will love it. It's not overly it's not overly scary. It's not overly intense.
That's the thing that I have to give credit to, and this has nothing to do with the movie itself, but is past while theater etiquette has been terrible. Theater etiquette this time,
totally top
very
notch.
very good.
The kids sat
notch.
still. The kids
were so engaged with this movie, which really speaks to the movie's quality.
Yeah. No, I think it's. I mean, I said that the Guardians movies were the least James Gunn, but these are the least James Gunn. Oh yeah, so the big spoiler is that. Supergirl shows up.
My thing too is like I wouldn't take a kid to watch any of the last like Batman versus Superman or Man of Steel. To me, those aren't like a family-friendly Superman.
This is. Yeah. You could take your kid to a showing of this, a cheap 11 a.m. showing of this, and yeah, they're gonna have a great time. Yeah, kids only got up like one time when they were bored, and in their defense, it was kind of a boring scene for them. I got it. I got it. It was like I get it, kids. I get why you're getting up for this. Yeah, the emotional stuff with Jonathan Kent was good. I love the Kents; they were fun. Yeah, the big spoiler in this is that at the end of it, Supergirl shows up, and it turns out that spoiler, Crypto is actually Supergirl's dog. I like her; she's really fun. I'm probably, if anything, more excited for the Supergirl movie than I was before. The thing that was making me excited for that was what's his face is Lobo, but now I'm like, you know what? I'm down to watch her
by Jason Momoa.
Yeah, by Jason Momoa. I'm hoping to. I'm excited to see her be Lobo or beat up Lobo.
Here's what I'll say is, for the longest time, Justin can attest how much I did not care for DC. And this has reinvigorated me, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see what else we get.
Oh yeah. Also, and someone pointed this out. It was interesting. There was the theory that we'll do this to wrap it up before we do a big. We don't do numbered ratings here, but we'll do a big recommend, thumbs up or thumbs down. And if you want to give it a numbered rating, you're welcome to. I don't traditionally do numbered ratings, but there was an interesting cameo where Peacemaker shows up, which I called it, by the way. Hear that phone? Called it. Knew he was going to be in this. I was kind of hoping for a bit more of a bigger cameo because I fucking love that character. But he shows up, and he's being interviewed about Superman. And in the DCEU, nobody likes Peacemaker. He's a loser asshole who nobody likes. And he's been put in jail, and he's not remotely famous. Like, nobody likes him. That's the whole bit. And so people thought that, and we talked about the theory that the Peacemaker that we see in the trailer for Peacemaker Season 2 is this universe's Peacemaker, and that at the end, the show's going to be about the DCEU Peacemaker, like, invading this show and taking over for the DCU Peacemaker. And so the theory is that that's the DCU Peacemaker. It's not the one from Season 1 that we saw.
Yeah, I believe that. I think I was a full supporter of that theory.
Yeah, and that seems like this confirms it. Oh yeah, Frank Grillo is there as Rick Flag Sr. He seems to be kind of the connective tissue between these things because he's been in 3 of them, and it's what's been connecting the universe. But yeah, I just think because that costume is practical, like, get him in the costume and get him doing cameos. Like, get him showing up every single time like you can. Like, just like, hey, bro, do you mind stepping into the CGI closet and putting on the Superman costume for an afternoon? Like, he seems to be excited about this.
He's young. He's hungry.
He's young. He's hungry. I'm very excited to see this version of Superman going forward. It is really fun, but also I get why the people who hate this hate this. I get it. It's not one of those times where I'm like, I don't get what people's beef is. When I was watching it, I was like, I get what people's beef is, and I think it's funny.
I get it. I think it's stupid, but I get it.
I personally enjoyed the part where Hawkgirl dropped Netanyahu to his death. I think I enjoyed that. No, I'm kidding.
Justin, you can't say that.
I can't say that. I don't want to get canceled.
You're gonna get canceled. You're gonna get canceled. Get me canceled by association.
I don't want to be canceled. I don't want to be canceled. I don't want to. The only thing that would have been better if there was a
Justin. We're trying to make friends on the internet. Jeez.
It's a joke. I'm joking. Don't write blog posts. Or do cancel me and just make sure you say my name a lot. Hey, look, if I can't be famous, I'll take being infamous. Hey there, everybody. It's NCAR Justin here. Let me know down in the comments. Have you seen the new Superman movie? What are your thoughts? Comment below. Let us know what you think. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Just let us know. But if you would like to see the full podcast, our Superman and fantasy episode, you click the box on the left. Or if you just want to see a random video that YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy, click the box on the right. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We put out new videos 7 days a week, and leave us a like. a like if you could. It really helps us out. We will see you all in the next video. Have a good day, everybody.